Guys, welcome to the J. Scott Outdoors podcast. Today I want to go over, I've got a bunch of questions from guys that are looking for their Arizona elk and antelope applications. It says, "Hey Jay, my name is Craig. I live in Montana. A friend and I have been putting in for archery elk for 17 years without success this far. We've been putting in for area unit 9 together. We were thinking we might hire someone, we might go DIY. Not sure what your costs or what your suggestions are as far as units. I thought we had a decent chance of drawing until they cut the pool down last year. We're in our 50s and we're in good shape. What units do you think we should put in for?" This is a question that I get a lot, and my answer is it's kind of a tough spot to be in with 17 points. It looks like you would be a guaranteed for Unit 1, 2B, 2C. It looks like you would be a lock for Unit 3A, 3C. Obviously, you could draw mid-tier units like 3B, 4A, 4B, 5A, 5B, 5B South, 6A, 6B, 7 East, 7 West, Unit 8. But obviously with 17 points, I don't think you should put in for those units. Then brings up Unit 9, which Unit 9, I'm looking at the Go Hunt Insider odds here. Unit 9, it looks like you would need 19 points last year was the number that got you in as a non-resident, and 17 actually is a 0.80% chance. So you still are not even in the max pool running for Unit 9. Unit 10, you would be a guarantee. And, and 23, with the way Unit 23 does their draw now, because it has under 20 tags, one non-resident could draw in the 23s, but it's not a guarantee, and none of those tags are going to go in the max bonus point round. So you basically are just hoping for a random chance at the 23 North or 23 South. So what you have to look at with 17 points is basically Unit 1, 3C, 10, or Unit 27. I think those are probably your best options at 17 points, and I hope that helps. I probably wouldn't put in for any of the mid-tier units, the 7 West, 7 East, Unit 8, 6B, 6A. I probably wouldn't mess with any of that at all and waste 17 points on that, and I hope that helps and hope that answers your question. Here's another question. Jay, I have 19 points in the draw and was wondering if that might get me a tag in any of the units that you guide in, early rifle or muzzleloader only. Again, with 19 points, I would say archery, yes, but you're wanting a rifle or a muzzleloader tag. So if we go down to the muzzleloader, I just don't see any units here with 19 points that would be worthy of you blowing those 19 points on. Looks like the early rifle hunt here, according to the Go Hunt Insider chart, 3A, 3C would take 21 points guarantee. The Unit 9, only a 20% draw at 22 points. And Unit 10 took 21 points for a guarantee. And, a Unit 23, again, falls in that same, it's just completely random. So, 19 points is tough as a non-resident going for muzzleloader or early rifle. You could potentially do a Unit 27 muzzleloader hunt, and I think you might have an outside chance of drawing 27 on the muzzleloader hunt. So hopefully that helps. Guys, also you can use the J Scott promo code and sign up for the Go Hunt Insider, and it has all of the accurate odds for this year's elk and antelope draw, taking into account the new change of 5% of those tags going to the non-residents in the max point pool, with the most points, and then 5% of those just going in a random draw. So it's definitely, kind of skewed the numbers, and you can buy a Go Hunt Insider membership and get a $50 KUIU gift card when you sign up, automatically sent to you by Go Hunt Insider, and have all of the numbers that I'm looking at your disposal. And it talks about late rifle, late archery, the early archery season, the early rifle season, the muzzleloader season. So make sure you use the J Scott promo code when signing up, and check out these Go Hunt Insider accurate odds. Okay, here's a Marcos. Marcos says, I've grown up hunting and fishing with my dad and brothers. My best memories have been in the woods and on the water. For years we've been talking about going elk hunting out west. I'd love to elk hunt out west. That's led me to your podcast. I've learned so much. What a resource it is to hunters who aren't familiar with the West. I will be taking my dad on a free-range elk hunt in West Texas in September. So now I'm looking for a hunt for myself. I'm planning to apply mostly hard-to-draw units in several western states, and will begin accumulating preference points. What units do you recommend I apply for on a Arizona late rifle elk hunt? Thank you very much, Jay. Okay, so if you have 0 points, there are several trains of thought. With the new change of the Arizona regulations, there is somewhat of a chance, whereas before the non-resident change, you had a 0% chance if you didn't have the max bonus points for that unit. In other words, let's take a late rifle hunt here, and I'm looking at the Go Hunt Insider. Go down here to late rifle, and let's say you took a unit like Unit 5A with 0 points last year. You had a 5.8% chance of drawing, and last year it was a 9 point to be guaranteed a tag on that late hunt in 5A. So there you have a situation where, kind of a mid-tier unit, it takes 9 points to guarantee a draw, but because of the way the change was, with 0 points, you actually have a 5% chance of drawing. So if you compare that to, say, a late rifle hunt in Unit 1, it took 10 points to guarantee you a tag, whereas if you had 0 points, it's a 0.60% chance to draw. So you have a situation here where you could apply for, quote unquote, a swing for the fence, a great rifle hunt, late rifle hunt, like a Unit 27, like a Unit 10, like a Unit 1, or possibly a Unit 9 as your first choice, while your odds are very, very slim. But then you could look at a unit like a Unit 22 is a 0.76% with 0 points. So there, right off the bat, you have a 7% chance to draw, or you take like a 5A, you've got a 5.8% chance right off the bat. The other train of thought is, instead of going for a swing for the fences unit on your first choice, you could do two kind of mid-tier kind of units and take like a 4B that has a 4.7% chance, or a 5A with a 5.8% chance, or a 6B with a 5.3% chance, or even look at this, a 7E 7 East has a 15% chance. That's probably your best chance as a non-resident with 0 points, and apply for 2 of those units that give you the best odds rather than the under 1% chance. So if you want to swing for the fences, maybe go for one of those top 3 type units on the late hunt, and just hope you get fortunate. A 23 or a 27 or a unit 1 type of hunt, maybe a unit 9, maybe a unit 10, and then kind of these mid-tier type units. Marcos, I hope that answers your question and helps you out. Here's a question from Jesse. Hey Jay, any info on the 3B late muzzy elk hunt? Odds, I have 3 points as a non-resident going into the draw. Any suggestions on units for a late elk hunt? I was thinking about 7 West late rifle or 3B late muzzleloader, picks number 1 and 2. So 7 West late rifle with 3 points. It looks like you're a 12% chance to draw. 3B with 3 points. Actually, I don't have 3B listed here. Okay, yeah, 3B, 3 points. Muzzleloader in 3B would give you a 41% chance of drawing. He's asking what kind of a unit is 3B. Yeah, you've got a 41% chance of drawing. 3B historically is not a unit that has a bunch of big bulls. I think it's kind of it's any legal bull to, maybe 320, maybe 330 type of bulls. I mean, I know there's some better bulls in there from time to time, and on the early hunts, every once in a while they'll kill a 345, 350 type of bull. But on these late hunts, especially a muzzleloader hunt, with 41% chance, you're probably looking, if you kill a 300 bull, you're doing really good. But if you want to put some meat in the freezer, that might be a great option for you. Okay, here's a question from Josiah. Josiah's from Colorado. Hey there, Jay. I love your podcast. I've been listening to it for quite some time now. I've learned so much about elk behavior listening to you and your guests, and some of the knowledge helped me put down a 5x5 my first season hunting elk, so thank you so much. I have a question for you. I want to start putting in for a unit in Arizona for elk, so in a few years I might be fortunate enough to draw a tag. What unit would you suggest? I'm not a trophy hunter. I would love to kill a big bull for sure, but that's not the end all for me. I would love to just get a good activity, great experience, and some encounters with elk, and hopefully have a shot at a solid bull. I would be doing this DIY. Any thoughts on the matter? Well, he says, I would like to see a few more podcasts on fly fishing. So, Josiah, I'll try and do my best with that. Now, if you're talking archery elk, in my opinion, Josiah, is your best opportunity to draw an elk tag in Arizona. And like I was saying earlier, you have the option of swinging for the fence with what I would call one of the great units. And I guess I should specify that, like the 2B, 2C, the 3A, 3C, the Unit 9, Unit 10, and 23 North, 23 South, and 27. I kind of think those are the best units in our state. So you're faced with the same situation with no bonus points. Yes, you do have a mathematical chance to draw, say, a Unit 9 tag, but you have a very, very, very slim chance. You have a 0.01% chance to draw a Unit 9, or a 0.10% chance to draw a Unit 10, but there's still a chance that, yes, you could draw. But if you look at Um, if you look at the odds, like a 3B archery hunt, you have a 1.2% chance, or a 5A archery hunt, you have a 1.2% chance. I mean, that's when you're talking about a point zero 0.01 compared to a 1.2, that's like you have double the chance of drawing in 5A, or double the chance of drawing in a 3B as you do in a Unit 9. Or even take like a 6A where you have a 1.9% chance, or a 6B where you have a 2% chance, or an 11M where you have a 2.7% chance, or even let's see, a 19A, but I think that'd be a very tough hunt. You have a 3.7% chance of drawing. I mean, I think you're better off doing like a 5A and a 6A, or potentially doing like a 7 East and a 6B, and picking kind of two mid-tier units, with good archery dates this year. That's one thing that you got to keep in mind, is that the archery dates start September 15th and go till September 28th, and the moon is going to be dark on September 20th. So the bugling should be good this year, and from all indication, moisture is looking pretty darn good in Arizona. So you could also potentially look at some of these late archery. I think there's some real opportunity in these late archery hunts that are not during the rut. They're going to be in kind of third week of November type of time frame, and you could take, again, like some of the what I would call the real good units, 1, 2B, 2C, 3A, 3C. Unit 9, Unit 10, those are, like a 1, 2B, 2C is 3.4% chance with 0 points. A 3A, 3C is 15% chance. So you could potentially mix a rut hunt, a rut hunt with, like a 3B or a 6A, and hunt them when they're bugling and have, like a 1.5% chance of drawing, and then maybe put a late archery hunt, which, the late archery hunt, obviously they're not bugling. If it's dry, you could sit water, you could spot and stalk, but at least you're elk hunting. But if you look at like a Unit 3A, 3C, you've got a 15% chance of drawing. Or if you look at like a 7 East, you have a 20% chance of drawing. And like a 23, you have a 17% chance of drawing. That's with 0 points. So you might consider doing all late archery hunts, or you might consider staggering them and doing one early, archery season as your first choice, and do a late archery as your second. The other thing you could potentially consider is doing like a late rifle hunt. But on the late rifle hunt with 0 points, you take, like a 1, 2B, 2C, which is a really, one of the best units, top 5 type units. It's only a 0.60 to draw that as a late rifle, where you could do a 3A, 3C and have a 2.9% chance, or a 4A where you have a 4.4% chance, or scroll down here and, 7 East as a late rifle hunt, you have a 15% chance. Unit 10 goes back, 9 and 10, a 1.8 for Unit 9 and a 1.5 for Unit 10, so very, very slim odds. So it just depends. If you're an archer, you might consider some of those late archery hunts. And if you say, hey, I want him bugling, then I would probably, rather than swing for the fences, I would probably go with a couple of the mid-tier units. hopefully that helps you. Here's a question from Brad. Jay, thanks for all you do for our industry, the podcasts, etc. You're a great voice for our community. Brad, I appreciate that. He says, I'm headed into the draw sitting on 9 points. Was curious if you or Dar guide the late season elk hunts. Seems I have pretty good shot at drawing the tag. I just need the right guide that wants and enjoys late season hunts. Brad, Dar, nor I do late season elk hunts anymore. I can direct you to some guides that do well on the late season. And if you're looking at late rifle, I assume you didn't put archery, so I'm assuming you're talking late rifle. Again, if I go to my Go Hunt Insider, with 9 points, you've got an 80% chance at 2B2C. You're 100% in 3C. If you pick some of these better units, let's see, you don't have enough for Unit 9. You actually are, as of last year, you would be able to draw Unit 10 as a late hunt. You would be able to draw, 23 you would not be able to draw. It took all the way up to 14 points, which is a lot, and it looks like you would have a chance at Unit 27. Unit 27, 9 points, 100% draw in 27. Now 27 is the unit that the wall of fire came through. It opened up a bunch of the unit. So there's quite a bit more glassing, and it makes those late hunts a little bit better when you can see, as well as like a Unit 1. Unit 1 also was affected by the wall of fire, and they've seen a big tag increase. I believe there's 460 in Unit 27 and 325, I believe, in Unit 1. But with the 9 points, you're only an 80% chance to draw Unit 1. But those are some units that you could look at. You're faced with a situation where you could easily draw some of these mid-tier units, like a 4A, 4B, 5A, 5B, 6A, 6B, 7 East, 7 West, Unit 8. I just don't know that I would waste my points on some of those middle-tier units. I would probably stick with trying to draw a Unit 27 or a Unit 1 tag on that late hunt. So I hope that helps you. And the reason we don't do late elk hunts anymore is because that directly conflicts with our desert bighorn sheep and Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep hunts that start December 1st. So this year coming up in 2017, the late rifle elk hunts and the sheep hunts start on December 1st. So Dar and I are not doing the late rifle elk hunts. I can recommend guides if you do draw, or if I'll try and send you an email here with some suggestions. So hope that helps. Here is a question from Woody. Woody says, hello, Jay. I started listening to your program last night on AZ archery elk hunting. I have 17 points headed into the draw and was waiting for Arizona Elk to rebound. However, moon and dates look good this year. I would like to get your thoughts on hunting in Unit 9 and Unit 10. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, so Woody, you bring up a good point about the moon, and you bring a good point about the moisture and the dates. I do think the September 15th through the 28th dates are going to be great. Last year in 2016, the hunt did not start till September 9th. And I believe, I say didn't start. It started early, September 9th. And for me, that's always pretty early for the bulls to really be bugling. Although I think early dates like that, I think you could kill a pretty good bull, because those big bulls are still kind of not with the cows. They're still roaming around and trying to kind of establish their harems. And so they're not locked in with cows. They're kind of still searching around. But by the 15th, when the season starts this year on 2017 season, I think they'll be much more into their pattern of bugling, much more in with their cows. For an archer that's, chasing bugles, quote unquote, the 15th start date going to the 28th is about as good a date as I think we can get. I don't think we'll have any broken point issues the 15th to the 28th. I think one thing you have to watch, not you particularly, Woody, but anybody listening, if they have a bunch of points and are considering these early rifle elk hunts in Arizona, I think the 29th through October 5th is going to lend itself to a pretty hard rut, and I think they're going to be fighting broken points on that early rifle hunt. So, but Woody, to answer your question about archery, if I look at Unit 10, it looks like you'd be 100% draw to draw Unit 10, and it looks like you would not have enough points in Unit 9. So keep in mind, if you apply for Unit 9 first choice and Unit 10 second, you will automatically draw Unit 10, because that falls inside the max bonus point pool for that unit. In other words, you have the allotted amount of bonus points that will guarantee you a tag. So in essence, you won't even have a mathematical chance at Unit 9. So, you may consider doing an early rifle hunt, kind of a swing for the fence type of mentality on your first choice, and doing a Unit 10 as your second. But if you put a Unit 9 first, you will automatically draw your second choice Unit 10, because you will have 17 points, which last year was a guarantee in Unit 10. Although they did drop the tag numbers in Unit 10 down to 100, I still think 17 points is going to be enough to get you in there. And one thing I do like about that Unit 10 hunt this year is that they dropped the tag numbers. There is no cow tags. Don't quote me on that, but I don't believe there's any cow tags in there. And it's kind of getting back to the Unit 10 that we knew 10 years ago. There was only 100. Then they bumped it up to 125, then 150, then 200, and then it was at 200 for a while, and then they went back to 150. Keep in mind, though, in Unit 10, that's the area where the Big Boquillas Ranch is, and they are allowing access on the Big Boquillas, but you do have to have a permit. I want to say it's $80 to hunt the Big Bow, and you have full access of the ranch. Now, keep in mind, in Unit 10, on the Big Boquillas, you cannot sit water. I believe you can't be within 100 yards of any water source. You can't put up blinds on water source. So you'll have to do spot and stalk. You'll have to chase bugles. But with 17 points, I think that's probably one of your best options. Another potential could be to look at the Unit 1, possibly also the Unit 3A, 3C. I think is another great option, as well as Unit 27. I think that those are all other options other than 10. And in Unit 9, you don't have enough points yet for Unit 9. So, and overall, guys, listening to this, like I said, Arizona's elk quality is not what it was 10 years ago. I think people have to really adjust their expectations. I think expectations for people drawing Arizona tags, they've read the magazines and seen all the pictures for the last 10, 15 years, and it's just a reality that I believe we're killing too many bulls on the late hunt, and the quality of overall bulls, top end bulls, is not as good. I'm not saying there's not still some giant bulls. There will be some big bulls shot in 2017, just like there is every year. But in some of these top tier units like Unit 9, Unit 10, Unit 1, Unit 23s, it was very common every day to see a 350 bull. Now, if you go the whole season and kill a 350 plus bull, you're doing good. And certainly if you kill a 360, 370, 380 bull, you're doing really, really good. But in Unit 9, it used to be every single day I would see a 350 bull. Now I would say every single day I see about a 335 bull. And so everything is just kind of slid back as far as quality. Hopefully that helps you. Guys, I'm going through my emails here, just trying to answer any of the Arizona Elk questions, but I keep getting, 4 or 5 emails a day on Gould's turkey hunts, people wanting to come Gould's turkey hunting with us down in Sonora, Mexico. Yes, we still have some openings for Gould's turkey hunts in Sonora. We run those hunts kind of like the third week of April through about the 15th of May. Those are phenomenal hunts. The birds really like to strut. They really like to gobble. Our birds don't get pressured at all. You can go on our website, Gould's, that's Goulds, gould'sturkeyhunt.com, and watch all the videos of all of our hunts. I video every hunt. And you can go on there and look at all the photos and all the pictures and videos and all the stories of the hunts. And if you are interested in going on a Gould's turkey hunt, just send me an email at jscottoutdoors@gmail.com. Also, I might add, I'm getting a lot of emails since I just got back from Sonora, Mexico, hunting Coues deer. We offer 2 guided trips. We're fully guided, food, transportation, lodging, guiding the whole thing for Coues deer in Sonora, Mexico. We do our hunts right at the peak of the rut in January, and those hunts can be very, very good. We just came off a great season. We also have what I call do-it-yourself hunts in Mexico. And those hunts are exactly what they say, do it yourself. You basically drive your own truck, you take your own food, you do your own glassing, and I can set you up with your own ranch. I usually do groups of 4 or more. I can accommodate, groups of 4 to 7 to 10 guys, depending on the circumstances. You just kind of got to let me know. The average size is usually 4 to 6 guys on a ranch, and you would have an exclusive lease, but you would go down, you would cross the border on your own, and do the hunt completely on your own, do your own guiding. But if you have any questions about that, you can email me also at jscottoutdoors@gmail.com. If you want to come on our fully guided hunts, we do still have some slots available for that. And our dates next year are January 12th through the 20th and January 21st through the 29th. And our goal there is to capitalize and pick those best days of rutting, and the moon's going to be full in early January, and I think those dates of the 12th through the 20th and the 21st through the 29th is going to capitalize on the best rutting there. Here's a question from Thomas. Jay, I'm doing research for my father who's 63. When elk season rolls around, he's a non-resident with 13 bonus points and would like to draw this year in a unit that gives him opportunity at a big bull. We will need an outfitter when he draws and appreciate your advice. Okay, so with 13 bonus points, non-resident, you cannot draw Unit 1 3C, 9, 10, 23, 27 with 13 points in the bonus pass. You could draw Unit 7 West or Unit 8 in the bonus pass, but those aren't super high quality hunts. So I think you need to continue putting in for another 3 to 5 years. So that's always the dilemma. You're sitting on, 13 points, but 13 points does not get you in the top 5. You could draw 4A, 4B, 5A, 5B, 5B South, 6A, 6B, 7 East, 7 West. Yeah, you could potentially sneak in with the 7 West tag, and you could potentially sneak in with the Unit 8 tag. Let me look here. Yeah. So, 13 points is kind of tough because you're right there where you could draw maybe some of those middle tiers, maybe a couple of the better middle tier units. But, you say you want a big bull. You could potentially find a big bull in 7 West. You got usually quite a bit of people problems. Just a lot of hunters in the field, potentially Unit 8. Sometimes those bulls in Unit 8 are a little bit fickle with their bugling. You certainly don't have enough to draw a Unit 9 or Unit 10. But keep in mind, with the random draw, the way it works, you could put in for a Unit 9 and just draw it in the random pool. So, you may swing for the fence and just put in for 2 of the hardest units to draw and just keep applying. And then maybe once you get up there at that, 16, 17, 18 point mark, maybe you'll have, shots at Unit 10, shots at, 3C, shots at a Unit 1. If it were me, I would probably continue to wait. I would probably go ahead and apply and try and just catch one of those random tags and don't just apply for a bonus point, and just see if you can get fortunate and just get your name drawn. Okay, guys, here's a question about someone that saw on my Instagram account. Says, Jay, I see you're using the Swarovski twin spotting scopes, and I'm going to do a whole podcast on this, but I figured I would go ahead and just touch base on that since it's right here on my email. I've used the Kowa Highlander 32 by 82 power binoculars since they came out. Before that, I had the Dr. 40 by 80 super wide angle Dr. optics, and I'm a huge fan of long range glassing. But one of the things that I've always kind of, not liked about the Kowas is, they're heavy at like 15 pounds. The tripod's 12 or 13 pounds, and you have to carry a glassing stool because they have angled eyepieces. So I've been looking for something, with a straight and not angled. And Jeremy Gugelmeyer, a friend of mine that guides out of Kansas and New Mexico and Texas, said that he was found a new setup. And I've heard of these twin spotter setups for years, but I've heard stories about them getting knocked out of collimation. And Jeremy said he did not have a problem with that, and there was an adapter guy made out of Prescott and at Wells Manufacturing, and you can send me an email if you want that contact information there for that bracket. Anyway, I went ahead and got the bracket. I went ahead and got the 65 millimeter STS Swarovski spotting scopes. Every piece of optics that I own is all Swarovski optics. The only thing that I did not own that wasn't Swarovski, or that I did own that was Swarovski or wasn't Swarovski, was those Kowa Highlanders. I've been a Swarovski guy for a long, long time. I believe in their customer service. I believe in their company. I've been fortunate to go over to Austria 3 times and visit the plant and know some of the people over there, and just a real big believer in Swarovski optics. Well, anyway, I was excited to try these 65 millimeter twin spotting scopes with the 25 by 50 wide angle eyepieces. And so I had them on the first trip this year down in Mexico. And I got the spotting scopes from the Outdoorsman's. That's where I get all my optics from. And Cody checked out my setup and actually helped me put everything together. And I went down to Mexico, and I just love these things. And then I came back, and I went back for my second trip down to Mexico. And so I've got about 18, let's see, about 17, 18 days now glassing with these twin spotters, and I really like the setup. I take the eye cups off as well. That's a little trick. I spin the eye cups off, and Cody actually manufactures a case that works perfect that you can get at the Outdoorsman's for the twin spotters. And they've been in and out of my backpack basically 18 days and 17, 18 days. And they're still as solid as can be. They haven't been knocked out of alignment. And it's a great I think it's great because they're only 7.5 pounds. I can use my same tripod, and it's just a huge weight savings. And I can glass on 25 power, but if I see something way out there, I can zoom in both eyepieces up to 50 power. And I tell you, if the sun's at your back, I mean, you can sit there and glass at 50 power. And I really like the twin spotting scope setup. So I'm going to do a whole podcast on that, but I just thought I would go ahead and answer that question since it was right here. Okay, here's one more question. Jay, I love your podcast. Love all the KUIU gear that I have. Being an Arizona hunter, I was looking for some guidance on best all-around KUIU clothing for Arizona and Sonora hunting. KUIU over the phone recommended the Merino 145 base layer, Kenai pants, and then the Tiburon pants over the top. Do you feel this is the perfect setup for our desert plants and thorns? What jacket do you recommend that will not tear up in our rough desert chasing javelina? Trying to build the best system, best bang for the buck that I can. I use it on all my Arizona hunts. Okay, Tyler. In my opinion, the Guide Pant by KUIU is the most durable pant. It has a nice fleece lining, and it's very, very durable. It's the pant that I wear on all my Coues deer hunts in Mexico, all my late season sheep hunts here in Arizona. And it's a very, very durable pant. The least durable pant is the Tiburon pant, but the Tiburon pant is my favorite pant because of the air dot technology and the breathability of the pant, and that's what I wear on all of the archery elk hunts here in Arizona, and all of the spring turkey hunts here in Arizona, and the spring turkey hunts down in Mexico. So the Guide Pant is the most durable, and it's good for colder weather hunts. And the Tiburon is my favorite for the warm weather hunts. The pant in between that is the Attack Pant. And the Attack Pant kind of is a mix between the Tiburon and the Guide Pant. It doesn't have a fleece lining. It's a really good archery elk hunting pant. It's a really good, say, October, November season Coues deer type country pant. If you are looking for a soft shell jacket from KUIU, you're going to want to look at the Kenai jacket, which is the synthetic, and then they also have their Super Down, which is treated with a water repellent. They put a treatment on the water or make the down water repellent. And the warmth to weight ratio on the Super Down is probably a smidge better than the Kenai. But the Kenai's always in my pack. I used to be the huge proponent of Super Down, and now I've kind of switched to now I'm a huge proponent of the synthetic, the Kenai jacket. For the hard shell, you're probably going to want to look at the Guide jacket. The Guide jacket is basically built out of the same material as the Guide pant. It also has a fleece lining, and it's a really nice hard shell. It is not 100% waterproof, so you would still need your rain gear, but it's a really good jacket. And then as far as the Merino 145s, I go with the Zip Tee. Always the 145 as my bottom layer. It's always next to my skin. But I like the Zip Tee because I can vent. I can unzip the zipper and vent through my chest But I also like being able to zip that all the way up, and it covers the back of my neck a little bit, and the zip tee's a little bit higher than the regular merino t-shirt. You get a little bit of coverage on the back of my neck. And all of the new Peloton synthetic stuff is awesome also. So I'm going to cover some more of the Kuiu stuff in the future here, but hopefully that helps you out. Okay, guys, that kind of covers some of the questions. Just barely scratching the surface on all these questions, but hopefully you'll be able to take some of the situations that I described with some of these other guys asking questions about the Arizona elk hunts and put them to your own use. I highly recommend signing up for the Go Hunt Insider. Obviously, use the J Scott promo code and you'll get a $50 Kuiu gift card. I want to thank my other sponsors, the Outdoorsman's, Optics Authority here in Phoenix. You can reach them at 1-800-291-8065. You can also go on outdoorsmans.com. You get a 10% discount if you use the J Scott promo code. Cody and his crew over there at the Outdoorsmans do a great job. Real Game Calls, if you use the J Scott promo code, you actually get a 20% discount at Real Game Calls. If you were listening to a bunch of my podcasts during elk season, we talked a lot about elk calling. Real Game Calls makes an elk call called the Elk Reel. I've had just an unbelievable amount of people email me saying thank you for turning them on to the elk reel, how easy it is to use, how consistent it is. They are also launching their deer calls and turkey calls. So check them out at realgamecalls.com. Use the J Scott promo code and get a 20% discount. And also, I'd like to thank PhoneScope for their sponsorship of this podcast. If you use the J Scott 16 promo code, you'll get a 10% off discount on all products at phonescope.com. PhoneScope makes digiscoping adapters for your phone to the binos or your phone to spotting scope, and they can adapt any phone to any spotting scope, so check them out. Guys, thanks for listening to this podcast. Thanks for all your loyal support. We just finished off a big month, the best month I've ever had as far as downloads on this podcast, the month of January. And I want to thank each and every one of you for that. And without your support, this podcast wouldn't be possible. So, guys, until next time, God bless.